panels, the agenda that we as a feminist are focusing on right now is not just about the high beauty standards, but also about the mental health of the K-pop idol itself, ladies and gentlemen. Because we believe as a feminist, we don't want to just campaign that will benefit for a large number of people, which the fan or the societies that follow this K-pop industry, but also we want to take a closer look, or we want to fight for everyone's equality rights in this case, ladies and gentlemen. Before I dig more into my argument, I would like to respond to the OC argument. First of all, beauty standards is not a preferences, because beauty standards is set to be followed by, it's set by an idol to be followed by their fans or the society, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, as a woman, we need to accept and be proud of ourselves as a form of self-love and self-acceptance, ladies and gentlemen. Second of all, beauty standard is influenced by the idol that in a way will force their fans or the society to imitate on, or at least to look like their idol, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, it appears such as terms of Korean makeup look or Western makeup look and so on, ladies and gentlemen. Thirdly, the opening opposition said that demand and rating is based on the visualization. Yes, it is, but the visualization itself, which makes everything include physical appearances and mental health, seems to be unrealistic, which seems that the K-pop idol forced to be happy all the time, forced to be fit all the time in order to memuaskan their fans' expectation towards the K-pop idol itself, ladies and gentlemen. Last but not least, the opening opposition and opening government failed to explain where this aggressively opposed of K-pop industry needs to be done, because there is no such a clear explanation on why or how this K-pop industry, especially the beauty high standards, affect some type of area. That's why we as a feminist is aggressively opposed. That's why, and therefore the argument delivered by the opening opposition about other beauty standards that can be followed by the society is irrelevant in this kind of debate, ladies and gentlemen. In status quo right now, K-pop has been a trend including fashion, beauty, in K-drama or K-pop and so on, where in that industry, they're not to sell the quality of their talent, but also their visual image or visual appearances. In any K-pop industry, the fan of society never found any kind of man or woman that is different from each other, such as brown-like skin or overweight or an acne-fighting woman. Therefore, this kind of beauty standard set by the Korean industry, K-pop industry, is believable, way too unrealistic with the reality facing by women or men nowadays. By aggressively opposed doesn't mean that the K-pop idol in K-pop industries doesn't have to stop making money from the things that they are very passionate about. With the feminists just want to make sure the idols, the fans, and the agency could normalize the true beauty, the realistic physical appearances of someone for a better self-acceptance, and there is no lie that lies between this whole industry itself, ladies and gentlemen. So how are we going to aggressively oppose? As a feminist, in a feminist society community, we would like to make a big online petition to be signed by so many people that will agree with our proposal, ladies and gentlemen, because this whole beauty standard set by the Korean industry affects mostly in Indonesia, especially from the age of very young age until adult people, ladies and gentlemen. And we also are going to continuously do online campaign in order to promote this type of self-love and self-acceptance that everybody should have, and we don't have to follow such a high beauty standard set by the Korean industry itself, ladies and gentlemen. And what is the goal of this aggressive oppose? The goal is to stop the existence of beauty standards itself and the unhealthy training to be a member of a K-pop industry that may affect the idol mental health, and to enable K-pop idols to do whatever they want without other people like their agency or manager consent, because when they are forced to wear some makeup or some very revealing clothes in a very cold weather, it's unrealistic and it is unhealthy for both their mental health and their health itself, ladies and gentlemen. As a feminist, we want to, and my additional argument is, as a feminist, we want the agency or the fans that like the K-pop idols or K-pop group or something like that, to realize that pressure the idols to follow certain types of system in that agency to picturing a great or perfect image of a person is attacking their mental health, ladies and gentlemen. The interest of a feminist feminist is not just about the gender equality, and we believe that the training in every agency like SM Entertainment and so on to be skinny and pretty, or even to follow a certain diet just in order to be skinny, it's so unhealthy for both their mental and their physical, ladies and gentlemen, because it will only pressure them in a very aggressive way to be other version of themselves that they are probably not comfortable of doing. The idols themselves being exploited physically, mentally, and sexually by, for example, the producer or the workers in the agency want to having sex or harass them harass the member of the K-pop idol group just because they are incorporated in the same agency, ladies and gentlemen. Physical appearances on such a wearing and open up or revealing clothes and being harassed both verbally and non-verbally, it's something that would never go along with our agenda as a feminist. We don't want women or anybody or even men to be harassed in such a way whenever they wear something that they want to wear, ladies and gentlemen. So women have the choice towards their own body without any consent of other people, such as their manager and so on. And we don't want to normalize things that happen right now, which have to being harassed and everything. So, for example, Suli, member of Shine, was died due to cyberbullying, even in a very pretty face, perfect body type, and so on. Therefore, it doesn't mean that the beautiful and perfect body type is going to save someone for cyberbullying and so on. It still will create, the more you're beautiful and the more the skinny you are, the more perfect you are, people will still very eerie towards you, and you're still sending hate towards yourself, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we think that the impact given by the K-pop industry is so unrealistic towards so many people, and we think that this motion should stand, and we beg to propose. Thank you.
Hello. The one who can win this debate is actually the one who can prove us that aggressively oppose the K-pop industry by feminism movement is matter and bring the long-term effect of the justice towards people and public in K-pop industry, ladies and gentlemen. What is happening in this debate of the opposition and the opposition side of this house, ladies and gentlemen? First one, they say the opposite of using the K-pop industry doesn't matter because there is talent and achievement there, and they publish in media because of the fans and so far, but they don't really know exactly what stages behind it based on the idol experience, ladies and gentlemen, right? There's no explanation towards what is the agency. We have to take a look in the things rather than focus on big issue like injustice and image form as a beauty standard, ladies and gentlemen. And the next one, they say that the aggressively opposed doesn't matter because they need new form of entertainment to supply demand of society. But in the status quo, we still believe that those kind of things could be happen because the agency or the K-pop industry present it first. Right? If they don't image the idols in the media, like a white skin, long hair, and so far, so we as the public, we as the fans, not follow it, right? It will be okay in the very first place. But the problem is the agency, the K-pop industry did it, ladies and gentlemen. So we do believe that as the feminism movement, who actually take focus on the justice things towards a man, a woman, and also how we can feel to create self-love in every human being as a matter, and we want to aggressively oppose this kind of system, ladies and gentlemen. And the next one, based on the proposal that coming from the opposition scheme, they want to they want not to blend the K-pop industry because the K-pop industry are the same with the other industries such as Western, India, and so far. But it cannot be acceptable, ladies and gentlemen, because we have the reasons why. Because the character of those industries are different, ladies and gentlemen. We realize that Agnes Monica can go internationally with herself without the beauty standard of what K-pop frame in the media, right? Every K-pop idol has to fulfill their kind of circumstances to be one and only represent of their industry. So in the end of the day, the K-pop idol will not get the bully and so far, ladies and gentlemen. So there is a gap, there is a big difference between the Western industry and the K-pop industry. And still, let's take a look again in our country, Indonesia, who have a lot of fans for the K-pop industry itself, like BTS, Blackpink, EXO, and so far, ladies and gentlemen. We see that the difference, the character of the Western industries and also the K-pop industry are different. That's why, based on the beauty standard that framing in the media of the K-pop industry, we want aggressively oppose this kind of system, ladies and gentlemen, because it creates many bad impact that my first speaker already explained to you. And the next one, the opposition team will say and bring a statement that they complain aggressively towards this industry will waste our time because it will be an endless fight, ladies and gentlemen. So they seek to give an inclusivity or giving the opinion or make people realize that they have their own beauty standard. But in what way, ladies and gentlemen? They never explain to us the kind of how to make people realize about those kind of things, because we do believe that it cannot be implemented by remembering the power of K-pop industry's effect towards the fans and public, for example, Indonesian people, ladies and gentlemen, and it affects the children, it affects students in Indonesia, for example, and there is a high effect that comes from the K-pop industry. Like an example, real example that happened nowadays about THBT ads in the status quo that it creates a lot of demand of the public because of that BTS framing in the media as the K-pop industry. But we believe that some things that make us want to aggressively oppose this kind of K-pop industry is because there is a big impact that they can create to our country, Indonesia, for example, for our future generation and future conditions, towards the beauty standard and also the injustice, especially for the idol itself, ladies and gentlemen. We not talk about the impact of the public, but also for the idol as the K-pop as the part of the K-pop itself. When I will explain in my next point, ladies and gentlemen. And the next one, the opposition team of this house I bring the ideas by saying that the industry are profit oriented, so oppose the K-pop industry by feminism movement cannot be acceptable. But the one and only thing that should be considered is feminism movement here is fight for the justice, ladies and gentlemen. So of course we don't want profit above the injustice things towards the idol itself and the future generation because of the standards which can affect the people, mental health, and so far. Why we talk about the justice, ladies and gentlemen? Because we realize that feminism movement has changed people's mindset about beauty standard itself, and also justice for the idols, especially women in the K-pop industry, ladies and gentlemen. So we have to take a look again in kind of cases. The reason why we bring the proposal better than anyone else because we want to be realistic. There is something wrong in K-pop industry and cannot be accepted, ladies and gentlemen. First one, they hard circumstances like physically, visually, and so on and so far. Their standard who counters the true beauty itself. They're framing in media towards a woman, like how they dress and how they look like, and the makeup things and so on and so far. The big impact in the online list, such as cyberbullying, for example, towards the Suli or Jonghyun and Isayu, until they die, right? So this is a big issue that we have to focus on, and that's why we aggressively oppose this K-pop industry, ladies and gentlemen. The second one, as feminism movement, by using our power, we want to make sure the idols and agency could normalize the true beauty physical appearance, so they will accept themselves by doing the online petition and so far. Because there is a sexual exploit, harassment, depression, and many more in this industry, and very hard to believe. So we want to oppose aggressively this kind of system. And the